Hi, Matt. Welcome back.
Hi, Sarah. Great to have another therapy session with you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So, tell me about how you've been lately.
I've been good. Been trying to work on those goals of getting back into the gym, especially with the meal prepping. I've had a really busy week with school and, just getting ready for graduation and work. So like I predicted, it has been a little hard going to Sam's Club I wish it was Costco. Anyways, to get stuff to meal prep. But, I did it and I meal prepped. And so far, I really do feel like it's helping me out with those unhealthy habits.
Oh, so you were able to prep a few meals for the week, and even though you had a busy week, you did find the time to do that, and you're feeling pretty good about that?
Yeah, definitely helping out with my financial situation as well.
Oh, okay.
That's making me feel good.
So how many days did you meal prep for last week?
I think I meal prepped for 5 days. Not breakfast, lunch and dinner. Yeah.
And tell me about that. How did it go?
I felt like it went fine. It was really hard to not just scarf it down because I was pretty hungry at that time. But I just put it in some Tupperware and put it in the refrigerator for later, and I feel like it went really well. Excuse me, especially like when we were talking about like when I get home from work and I'm really hungry and it's really late, I don't go order something or go to Jack in the Box. I just take out my already pre-made meal, and it usually clears that whole hunger issue right up.
So you made adequate sized meals and it's working for you, and that's really awesome that you made that commitment to do that.
Yeah, thank you.
Were there any barriers that you found doing it, or it was pretty smooth sailing?
Besides just kind of finding the time, and sometimes I'd get bored with the same lunch every day, but it's better than spending money on something, and at the end of the day it is a healthier choice for me, so I just pushed through it because I had to.
So you were able to save some money for your
Yes,
meal?
I was able to save some money. No
And
more
you
munchy
didn't-
meals for me.
And you didn't eat out as much at all?
Not as much, definitely not.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Do you feel like this change then has made your life better?
Yeah, it's definitely a start. There are other things I can incorporate in. Definitely a set schedule of when I will be going out and shopping and spending maybe 3 hours making those meals. That is something that I need to get better on with time, but definitely in the beginning, it's working out pretty well.
So you picked a night to do all your meals, and that saved you time later in the week, and you had more time to focus on graduation and school?
Yeah, it's just unfortunate because the way my schedule is put out, it gets put out for a week every Wednesday, and just the nature of the job I'm in, I don't have a fixed schedule, so I can never tell from week to week when that day's going to be, but hopefully I do get a fixed schedule soon, and that clears up.
So your work schedule's pretty unpredictable?
Yeah, extremely.
And they keep you pretty busy?
Yeah, they keep me pretty busy. That is what I like about the job I have, though. I'm always on my feet. I'm always moving around, so that's good. I do get some sort of physical activity through that.
So were you able to make it to the gym then a few times, like you had wanted, or?
A couple times I was able to squeeze in maybe a little bit of cardio work, but aside from that, not really, unfortunately. Yeah.
So you prefer to do cardio then at the gym, and that kind of gives you a kickstart on your day?
Yeah, definitely, especially when I wake up. Like, there have been times where I've woken up at like 8 a.m. and I go to the gym and like be on the elliptical for like 35, 40 minutes. And I feel like it just really wakes me up and I'm ready for the day.
And did you find you found some stress relief in that too then?
Yeah.
Going to the gym and
definitely
doing the cardio?
Yeah, I learned a long time ago that going to the gym and some sort of physical activity, not only to get your mind off of stress, but physical activity just helps with stress in general. So just kind of knowing that really does help with my stress, especially in this stage of my life where I'm just about to graduate from school. I need to figure out where I'm moving, what job I'm going to be a part of, what position, what salary can I afford to live somewhere on that salary all by myself. Definitely a stressful time, so definitely a good time to start getting back into that routine.
So stress has been something that you've been dealing with your whole life, and now it's just especially elevated.
Yeah, no, yeah, we all are. I mean, like, not everyone's usually stressed out about something, and that's great. Really happy for those people. But a lot of people really are a lot of the time, as you probably know. And, just kind of knowing that, getting into those routines really, really does help.
Well, I think that's awesome that you're doing something for your stress. To me, it shows that you really care about your mental health and just wanting to be the best person you can be. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about today regarding your exercise or meal plans?
What do you think about kind of splitting, kind of going back to what I was talking about before, kind of not having, usually a good gym session for me is 2 to 2.5 hours long. If, I obviously talking about with time, shifts, things like that, working, school, graduation stuff, I can't always have that 2 to 2.5 hour break gap. What do you suggest when it comes to fitting that in? Is it good to kind of do split workout routines, like cardio first and then weights later? Or does that not really give the body its best chance to recuperate?
I have some information about that my clients have shared with me, if you're interested in hearing that.
Yes, I've heard you have very successful clients that are major athletes.
So, it's really whatever works for you.
Okay.
Because when we are exercising, it really is just because it's good for our body. It shouldn't be because we're trying to meet a certain time limit. It's whatever you feel like you can do that day.
Oh, yeah, true.
Because in the end, you are doing yourself a favor. So, you shouldn't hold yourself to a time constraint too much, just because you made the effort to go to the gym. And anything that you can do, anything you want to do that day, whatever is good for you, you know best.
Fair. So not necessarily holding myself to a certain time limit, but just kind of what I do in that time is really what matters.
Yeah, and not feeling disappointed in yourself if you didn't reach that 2-hour time limit. Does that sound like something that?
No, yeah, that definitely sounds like something I'd be interested in doing, because if you go to the gym to relieve stress, but at the end of the day you're still disappointing yourself just for going to the gym. What's the point in that?
No, very true. And it just seems to me like you don't need any more stress in your life.
I do not. That's for sure. Yeah, my stress is working overtime. Yeah.
Well, are there any other things that have been stressing you out lately besides graduating and finding a job, or?
Honestly, it's mostly that, just because obviously it's such a big step, not only in my career but in my life as a whole. Where I'm just kind of more placed, because everyone around me, in my capstone, every guest speaker we have, they're like, "Oh, by a show of hands, who here has gotten the job?" And more and more people raise their hand each time, and I'm not. And now I'm one of the few people who haven't raised their hand. So, and naturally, not just that, but the program for hotel and restaurant management, my major, at NAU, is really, really impressive, and it's a nationally ranked program. So that just puts a lot more stress on it, because they assume you're immediately going to have those great positions starting right out of the gate. I remember my freshman year, the dean of the school was kind of giving a lecture to us, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you guys are going to be managers when you graduate, right?" And we're all like, "Oh yeah, of course we're going to be managers after we graduate." But the more and the more I hear more guest speakers, and I've kind of thought about it. If I'm not, that's okay with me. It's just, the deadline to graduation, I got 2.5, 3 more weeks, to find that job.
So you're feeling like you've fallen a little bit behind
Yeah,
your
a little
peers
bit.
then?
But at the same time, graduation isn't it's not something bad's going to happen if I don't have a job by then. I'm kind of taking my time a little bit more with it. So I'm not stressed out too much. It's more just because maybe comparing my situation to other people's situations, which it's never a good thing to do that, I know. But it's really hard not to in this program when we're all in the same stage of our life. We're all talking to the same companies, things like that.
Well, it sounds like to me that you recognize that maybe you're thinking you're just stressing yourself out more.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And that you do know that whatever happens, you can.
Exactly.
You'll be fine.
At the end of the day, I know I'm going to be okay. At the end of the day, I know I'm going to find something definitely passionate enough, and I feel like I'm well equipped to at least be in this industry, and I'm making more and more connections every day. So I know something's going to happen. It's just honestly a matter of time.
Well, I think you graduating through it and you finishing this HRM program shows that you are experienced enough and that you will find that job in time. And just for right now, just exercising and like finding other things to take your mind off of stress will really help a lot.
Thank you.
Well, if there's not anything else you wanted to talk about today, what will be your goal for these next few weeks then?
Honestly, working more and more to trying to get that job, but not being stressed out about it, and using the gym. Well, not only trying to find more times to get to the gym, but also using the gym as less of a way for me to lose weight, but actually just as importantly, a way for me to de-stress from this time I'm going through.
So you're gonna take your focus off the future and graduate and start focusing more on the present moment.
Exactly. Because at the
using
end of the
gym
day,
as a
that's all we
stress
can
reliever.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, awesome, Matt. Thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, thank
It was
you for
great
seeing me
talking to
again.
you.
Yeah.